Can I get a note taker up here with the marker? Come on, we got a 10-step sales process.
Because just like
this is actually pretty detailed. Ricky's got it. So you know the steps, right?
I do.
All right, so start with step number 1.
All right, step number 1 is make a friend.
Make a friend. Okay. I like this shit. I always say if you want to sell a roof, you fucking make a friend. You get to the kitchen table, maybe you're wearing khakis and a shirt like my guy right here looking good, and you don't fucking leave till you get a contract.
So how do you make a friend, right? Usually it's better if you're the one who knocked the door and then you're the one who showed back up, because you can use whatever your line was while you're at the door to kind of keep that friendship going, or while you're at the home show or whatever the referral was, you want to make a friend. So when you're thinking about making a friend, it's best for the people to talk about themselves. So you don't want to, if you're a golfer and you see golf clubs, I don't want to teach you about golfing, because one, you're going to think I'm annoying and we're not going to be friends. But since I know a lot about golfing, I'm going to ask you questions about golf clubs. How often do you take your golf cart out?
Man, I golf on every day that ends in Y.
Yeah, but I seen the golf cart you got out there and the rims you got on it. Do you take that with you, or do you just drive around the neighborhood?
Man, it's everywhere I go. I make my rounds, I play golf, I drink beer. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I'm gonna get me one of those golf clubs one of these days, and so I like golfing as well. But what do you do on the golf course?
I play golf and fuck off.
Yeah, so you more there for the beers and then having a good time, or are you really serious about your strokes?
I'm serious about, hanging out with the bros on the golf course.
See, I'm the same way. I try to be good at golf, but I'm not good at golf. But I like having a good time, and now I've made it to the golf course, and that's fun for me.
All right, you're cool, man.
If you've been enjoying this Real Roofing Sales training, then you'll love our Real Roofing Sales community. I want you to be a part of my door-to-door church. We have 3 calls a week, and this is in the past something that others have paid $60,000 for. And for my YouTube followers, I'm giving away an insane deal, 98% off. You're also going to get access to my entire library of training. My life's work has been teaching people how to sell roofs, make more money, make $1 million in roofing. You don't need startup capital. You don't need to be a business owner. You need to learn how to sell bigger roofs, sell retail roofs, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. We have a retail sales training call, an insurance and door-to-door call, and we'll teach you everything you need to know about getting into commercial sales. That's how you make $1 million in roofing. You hang around winners, and I want to invite you to hang around the top performers in the roofing industry. 3 times a week, we're live on Zoom, we're motivating each other every day in WhatsApp, and we're going to give you an app that you can compete against the nation's top performers and win prizes like Rolex watches. Click the link in the comments to be a part of the disruptive movement that me and Brad Lee are releasing on roofing. Real Roofing is a movement. You are not like us. We're hardcore door-to-door, and we're raising the status for the blue-collar entrepreneur. Click the link in the comments if you want to be a part of the movement.
So then we made a friend, right? So then I go through transition from make a friend, and then the second step is going to be inspection. Right? I usually say it with 3 quick things, because they're expecting it to be a short meeting most of the time, especially if it comes from a door knock.
So now you're at the kitchen table. I thought we already did the inspection.
No. So when we're retail, we don't get the inspection right away. When we're going door to door, we're literally just setting the appointment. Okay. We don't want to pull our ladders out. We don't get on the roof. We don't do any kind of inspections at all.
Gotta be clear about that.
Yes, 100%. If you do the inspection, say your insurance, and you've already done the inspection, then you would go back to the inspection phase where you're just talking about what you found. Mm-hmm. But in this case, when we're going door to door for retail, we set the inspection or for the following day just to see what they have, if they need any damage, if we're going to go inside the attic, things like that. So inspection phase is very important. The reason why it's important is because, one, we need to find out why we're actually there. We sell multiple products, and that homeowner might only have us out there for a missing shingle or a ventilation problem or something like that, but we're the experts. So in inspection phase, the number 1 thing you have to do is establish yourself as the expert, but more importantly, document everything that they need. Not just from what they're telling you. It's better if they're the ones who are telling you, hey, what about that gutter up there? I see that it's coming down a little bit.
Yeah, that's been on the list.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and build a price for you just so you can see what it looks like. That siding up there looks like you haven't cleaned it in a little bit. Is it something you're looking to replace?
Get it over your head. That's looking like $30,000. Maybe just clean it.
Yeah, we offer some pressure washing options as well. I can show you what that looks like. And then I also noticed that these windows, I see some fog in the windows. Do you ever have any issues with those?
Oh Lord, I don't give a shit about fog in my windows.
Okay, So you want to just stick to the roofing?
Yeah, let's stick to the roof.
All right, so this is what we're going to do is we go back to the back and we're looking up at your roofing system. I noticed that you did have some missing shingles, but you said you had no leaks, right?
Right.
All right, so no leaks, great. I also noticed that you have a 3-tab roofing system. So how old did you say this roof was?
This roof's about 14 years old.
About 14 years old. Okay, great. Miss Susie was about 14 years old as well. And a lot of times when they're only 14 years old and being replaced, they have some damage. So I'm going to hop up there in about 5 minutes, and I'm going to see what kind of things are going on up there. What I've found is, I mean, most homeowners don't go on the roof, right? I mean, there are some homeowners that'll jump up there. But when we can go on the roof and we can do inspection videos and bring them down to the kitchen table and show them video, they're going on the roof. So on the ground, 50, 60, 70 feet away, looks like just a shingle that's flapping. Up close, looks really bad for the most part, right? So that's what the inspection phase is. So we're identifying problems, we're establishing ourselves as the expert. You want to ask more questions than telling. You want to find out what their pain points are, and then we draw our pictures. This is where we do our measurements and whatnot. We have a price at the end of this phase. Before we go into the step 3, we already have a price built up for what we're going to charge.
All right.
So if you can't get to price, you say, listen, it's going to take me 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to go draw this up for you. I'll come knock on your door in 5 to 10 minutes.
All right.
All right, so now you have price.
Do you get an attic?
Not within the inspection phase, we have not got inside the home yet, so we're just on the outside of the home.
Right, cool.
So when we're on the outside of the home and we identify that we need to get into the attic, then when we go inside the home, first thing we're going to do is get inside the attic. But I like to stay outside of the home first on the inspection phase, and a lot of homeowners think that they want to keep you outside of the home as well. So then you go to step 3.
Step 3. What's step 3?
Step 3 is company story. So in order to get to company story, you need to get inside the home and get to the kitchen table. So Leah went ahead and did an inspection. I built up some of these reports, took some measurements. You got a place that I can come show you this?
Yeah, come on.
All right, sweet. Now I walk to the kitchen table. They invite me in, and I do this through a slideshow. So we have our slideshow that's got our company story, and then it goes right into the demo. So depending on what product it is we're going to be pitching, and it's usually dominant product. So like if they're there for roofing and gutters, I don't pull out the gutter slide, I just go straight to the roofing slide, and then the gutters is the add-on. If the roofing is the secondary and siding is the dominant, I go to the siding and the roofing is the add-on, right? So I pitch the company story. So when we go through the company story, I want to tell them a little bit about me because I want to become friends. So they need to know who I am, what I represent, and why I do this. Because a lot of times they're going to buy you and why you do it more so than the product that you're going to be showing them. I love roofing. I laid shingles for a long time, so I tend to go a lot more to the techno babble than I should. So the company story is a good way to break that down and get them to love you. So everybody has a story, even if they feel like they don't have a story, that you have some kind of story that can relate to customers. And I change mine a little bit depending on who they are. If they're a vet, then I hit that a little bit harder. If they're an older couple, then I talk about how I started real young and I've been married for 17 years tomorrow, and I got 4 kids.
Hey, congratulations.
So everybody has a company story. You should come up with 5 to 10 things. And inside your slideshow, you should have 3 to 4 of your main ones because you don't want to bore them. You don't want to hit this too hard. But you want to be able to revert back to when they say, well, I want to get multiple estimates, or I'm not sure if I can trust you as a company. And this step, you should eliminate that. That's company story.
All right, step 4.
Step 4 is going to be what do you got?
Okay, between the set and the appointment,
Yeah.
do you send anything to them in the meantime to help also convey the company story to them?
No, we don't. We have the phone call that comes in afterwards, not to convey the company story, but mostly to make sure that both homeowners are there. Because sometimes on lower tickets, it's easier to get the husband to buy without the wife. But a lot of times, $20,000, $30,000, it's one of the harder objections to overcome. So having them both there is easier to close.
So you call them first.
Yes. Yep. So step 4 is the demo phase. So whatever product it is you're going to be selling, you want to make them love the product. You want to make sure that they, when they say that they want to get other estimates, you want to be able to revert back and take away little things. So if they don't know what product you're selling, it's kind of hard to take that away from them. So the demo phase is building their roofing system. So we do an Owens Corning True Definition shingle system. This is also where I like to talk about the pain points, the thing that could go wrong with an install.
Virtual pitches is where we need to include this element where you're showing components in like a Zoom slideshow. Maybe you don't do it over the phone, but maybe it's a Zoom. Maybe you do it over the phone. But the reality is to some extent, buying a retail roof, we give what's called a sumo quote, which gives the estimate plus all the marketing material for the actual manufacturer material. So it's almost like the marketing material for the product kind of gives you what you need to demo the product.
Right.
But there's this thing that Steve Jobs came up with, that if people put their hands on something in the Apple Store 3 times, if they picked up a phone, if they touched a deal, if they played with something, then they have like an 80 to 90% more likely chance to buy. I don't know the exact specifics, but giving pieces of the roof, letting them touch samples.
Correct.
I think this is a very important part of it.
And that's what we do in the demo phase. So you don't want to walk up to the door with a backpack or bags, right? You just look like a salesman. That's why we go up and we make a friend. We do the inspection with nothing but just our notepad. And then once we say you have somewhere to sit, I'm going to grab some samples to show you, you go grab whatever the demo is you're going to do. It's important for them to touch it. So selling to the senses is a real thing. You get them really excited about it. So in my slideshow, when I go to we finish tarping, we're stripping, we're cleaning everything down, we talk about that. Then when we move into the ice and water shield, I hand them the ice and water shield and I show them what it looks like. Feel that, can you see how rugged it is? Then next step we put it on is your synthetic underlayment. You see this right here? This is the tar paper that's usually BAB. Go ahead and try to rip that.
See, we're not doing that enough as insurance guys. We take too much pride in our process of insurance, and we're not embodying being a roofing professional. Being a roofing professional is going to help you get paid more per square and have that Cadillac service and price. You know, and no matter what, the one thing that I think that we fail at as roofers is we think that we want to give people sort of a middle price. I know, Jay, you've talked about it, where you don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. So I want to shoot them straight, and I want to kind of put them right in the middle, and I want to land right on a price that is going to get me favor. I know I'm not going to be the cheapest, but I know I'm not going to be the most expensive, and I just want to give them the right price.
Yeah.
Why is that a tough way to do it?
Well, it's tough to do it because they don't know exactly what they're buying. When you only talk about, hey, I'm a roofing, I'm gonna get you a roof, well, you might be doing the same thing, you might be doing the same thing. When you get them to touch it and fall in love with the product, then when they tell me I'm too much money, which happens a lot, hey, you're a lot more money, then I can say, well, now that you've touched the product and you see what kind of company I am, can you understand why I'm a little bit more money? And that usually helps revert back, either yes or the answer is gonna be no. And then I have to overcome from there.
See, it's one thing to close a virtual contingency. It's going to be the next thing where we get them approved for a loan, we get them to sign a contract for a roof, and we get $40,000 loan deal. And I know we can do it. I know it's possible, but it's creating sort of a virtual demo in a screen share, maybe, that works.
I've actually got one. When COVID hit, we weren't sure, so we started building them and we started running them that way. I could share it with you.
All right, cool.
So step 4 is the demo phase. You want to get them really excited about it. You want them to understand why you're a little bit more money without waiting for that. But you're going to need that ammo in your chamber when you get to the close.
Step 5.
Step 5 is going to be price conditioning. So you're giving them the price without giving them the price, and we have a couple different ways to do this. And honestly, through Zoom, HomeWise is definitely going to be something easy to show them.
Cheat code, HomeWise.
HomeWise.com.
What is HomeWise?
It's an online, it's an estimating system.
Yeah, third-party software. I don't own it. You'll see anybody can use it. You as a homeowner can use it, and what it does is it's where contractors go to figure out price. I want to talk about it in a way that I'm building that value inside of HomeWise, so that way when I give them the prices, they trust them a little bit more and they know that it's not my price. This is going to help you overcome any kind of multiple objection or multiple estimate quotes that you might get. And as you do it, when you do it the right way, you'll see their eyes jump because they can see the pricing. I'm showing them the screen and I'm going through the different items. I know how big their roof is because I already did the inspection. So I tell them how big their roof is. Then I talk about the products. We just talked about the products, and you mentioned that you wanted to go with that higher quality roofing system, right? Or did you want me to move you back over here? No, I like what you talked about. All right, great, I'm going to move you here. And you got to grab that ticker and move it back and forth so it's jumping all around. And this is where they're starting to really start to see price, which is really all they're having their out here for. They want to know how much it costs.
Now, if I'm doing it Jay's method and I'm going out on, kind of right in the middle, why is that hard to do in price conditioning? What does that do to you when you shoot right in the middle instead of shoot high?
Well, I mean, honestly, shooting in the middle is sometimes it's not a bad thing because now you have somewhere to go after you get the yes. So if you're doing that, then, but if they never know what the top tier is, then they're never going to buy the top tier.
Usually what happens is when I go to certain neighborhoods, they already have like 3 or 4 for estimates.
Yeah.
So I already know, and in the case they have other people, especially the time I get like the 31, I have them coming. So I just come with like that 29, 30%, and I know I can still go down a little more, but then I'm like, listen, this is really me, and I'm sell the company, the story, second generation, you know, we're gonna be here no matter what. These guys, you know, tailgate, and I go, this is the best price. And I go, if you really, really, really are serious, like you're ready to do it today, or you want to do cash, maybe I can work with you, but I'm telling you right now, because the way we are, we're different, you know, and then you guys stick to, now if they do like it, they'll just tell me, and I can just do like that's how I get the Google reviews. I go, okay, listen, I go to my manager, get the Google, the videos.
But those are some of the things you want to have in your ammo to use for sure. But those are some of the last things. Because one, they sound a little desperate. Two, you never want to get to a price battle to where you're trying to sell off price or try to beat it down. You want to take away all those objections beforehand by building your value more than what the roof is going to cost.
My problem too is if I see we're competitive too much, because I know, and the thing is I'm very passionate people, and that's what I'm passionate. Are other salesmen like this or like no? So usually when it comes to that price, listen, I really can't handle two more. And usually Jerry showed me that. He just switched the paradigm, like, you know what, maybe we're not for you. And then that's when you should get
give away the sale.
Yeah, because they're like, I just walk out, you know what, probably you should go with a cheaper company, you know, and then you call me when you want me to do it. Like,
so in that case, especially if you're having that a lot, have you ever had anybody that went with you where you were more money?
yes.
Okay, great. And then afterwards, were those people happy?
She was.
And would those people give you that testimony?
She did.
So take 6 of those people, put them on a sheet and say, hey, here's 3 things, call them, ask them these 3 questions, and you'll know why that you will go with me because I'm more money. And it won't take you that much effort. And say, Mrs. Jones, every time somebody calls you and you tell them yes, I'm going to send you a $50 gift card.
Starbucks.
It's worth the $50 all day. And now the homeowner's working for you. I mean, you got to change out your list. And as you build these, you'll get more and more people that you know. And then you'll have a sheet for old people. You have a sheet for veterans. You have a sheet for the Latino community. But it takes a little bit of work on your part. But there's plenty of people out there that are going to talk about what you're doing.
How about in Fort Myers? Where it's very competitive.
Where's the most competitive places?
No, just like did they ever tell you that your price is too high?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Good.
So, tell me how you handle it.
Build our value in our company story. We're going to be here to stay.
I got 3 other roofers, Roman Roofing one of them, and they're doing it for $5.50 a square.
Okay. I'll show them our past projects, build value that way, show them things that have gone wrong in the past with other roofing companies and with us and how we fixed it. How you tell a good contractor apart from a bad one is when things go wrong, what they do to fix it. So I'll bring up the actual like cases of things going wrong, what we did to solve it. Have a homeowner, like in San Carlos Park, I have 65 claims approved from January 9th Monday. Each person that I sell, I give them a $25 gift card to put their number on a referral list, show up to the front door and be like, I got 60 people for you to call right now. Here you go. I'm adding to it every day.
Okay.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So price conditioning is huge. If you don't go the HomeWise route, you do some kind of price conditioning to where you're mentioning what the prices. There is.
You can get 4 different quotes from other big roofers in your area. You can go in there with that high price conditioning that we're the Cadillac. If I'm showing my high-end residential references, my commercial references, and saying, look, our specialty is high-end residential, commercial. We will take care of these smaller projects. The difference is you're getting a lifetime warranty, and we're willing to walk away from people that just want the cheapest roofer. So if you want the cheapest roofer, it's not me. And shut up.
Where do we go from here?
All right.
That's it. Whenever they tell me no or their objection, where do we go from here? If they want me to leave, then I take the Steven method where if they're not a customer, they're going to fight me too hard. Then I give them what they need. I educate them. I let them know that I'm here for questions, and then I'll go to the next one. So
Step number 6.
Step 6. So now that they kind of know they still don't have a price from you yet. They don't know what you're going to be charging them. But step 6 is where you ask them for the deal. Is you soft close them. And
Soft close me real quick.
seeing as this is going to be a project that you're going to have to get done, if not now, sometime in the near future, if I was able to come up with a price or a payment, would you be willing to move forward with me today?
Man, I really wasn't expecting to buy a roof today, but maybe.
So if they say yes to me, then I know I'm pretty much got a deal. 90% of the time, I'm getting a no.
Okay, no.
Yeah. So when
Sorry.
No worries.
I'm a fucking softy.
So no worries. And most of the time, you're going to get no right here because when you say buy today, now the pressure's on, right? I understand that. I can see where you're at. So all I'll ask for you to do is keep an open mind. And when you ask them to keep an open mind, they're never going to say no. I got some pretty sweet other programs that I can talk about and we can mention. All I ask is that you keep an open mind. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
They're never going to say no. And if you did, you fucked up somewhere along the make a friend.
How you ask for the sell.
The soft close?
Yeah.
So you could say it in a few different ways, but this is one of the few lines that we ask our reps to say verbatim. So seeing as this is a project that you have to get done, if not today, sometime in the near future, if I was able to come up with a price or a payment that fits within your budget, would you be willing to move forward with me today?
No.
No. Okay, then the next, after that, then you would move into the keep an open mind. So we have some other ways and different programs that we'll offer. All I ask is that you keep an open mind. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Then that's it. They're almost always going to say yes there.
Okay, step 7.
So step 7, this is where we lay off price. Laying off, this is the first time we're going to introduce price to them.
Laying off.
Well, it's called romance of details is what I call it. Because the next step A is where we actually give them the price. Romance the details.
How do you romance the details?
So at this point, we already went through the price. We took them from the demo, and then we took them back to the. We went to the company demo, and then we laid off price. Now we're going to go back to what it is that we're actually here for and what it is what we're doing. And when we romance the details, we kind of assume the sale. So we have this little sheet, and we say, I'm just going to verify a few details with you. I ask your name, Lee, the address. This is the address, right? Correct. And then that driveway, you got a pretty big driveway. I seen you have 3 garages. Which one is it that I can block with the dumpster?
Well, you're getting ahead of yourself. Hold on.
No, I am getting ahead of myself, but what I'm doing is I'm laying out what this looks like, and then the materials are going to go. So I'm assuming that I've already got the sale with you at this point. Okay. I've asked you to buy, and you either said yes or that you're willing to keep an open mind. So I'm taking that as you've given me the yes. I've given you the rough price I've laid out, because when I do home-wise and I price condition, I know my price is going to fall within the middle and typically towards the bottom of those. Then this is where I'm romancing the details. Where's that dumpster going? You're going to tell me which one it's going to be. Almost all the time, it's a reflex answer that you know that you only.
Right, over here on the extra garage.
All right, sweet. I'm going to go ahead and put the materials right in front of that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so day 1 of the install, when we get here, we're going to be stripping this roof. We're going to be putting those tarps up, and we're going to strip your roof. We're going to inspect it. After inspect it, we're going to put that 6 feet of ice and water shield that we talked about, the synthetic underlayment. We're going to get that ventilation back to the top tier like we spoke about. Install the Owens Corner True Definition shingles, and I know you said you really like that Onyx Black, so that's what we're going to put on here, Onyx Black. And then once we get to the top, we're going to put the cap done and finish the project for you, right?
All right.
All that right there comes to $18,990.
Whoa.
Or you can take advantage of one of our $190 a month payment plans.
Well, I got a bid for $16,000. You're way more expensive.
I understand that. And then that's typically what we're hearing. So when you look at this $18,000 to the $16,000, that's a $2,000 gap. I wouldn't say that that's way more expensive, right?
I guess not.
So going through the products that we talked about, the Owens Corner True Definition Shingle Package, the company and who we are and how we start and what we do for you, can you see why we're a little bit more money?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. So at this point, you're ready to move forward with the 18 grand? So if you say yeah to me there, I'm going to go back. So I ask for the close anytime you get the opportunity to move forward.
How many times does it take to get a retail? How many times are you asking for the close?
So 3 to 4 times I'm asking for the sale. And honestly, once you get to the 4th and 5th no, if they're willing to listen to you to a 4th or 5th no, your chance of closing that deal gets to the 70-80% range. So 8's going to be, that's what we just talked about. Now we're going to lay off the price. We're going to introduce it to them. We're going to introduce the payment plan to them. That's laying off price. 8's laying off price.
Laying off price. So
Yep.
You got to make them think that they got a good deal.
Correct.
How do you make them think they get a good deal?
So if I lay off the price to you, and then you hear
What's the magic question for laying off the price?
The magic question for laying off the price. When I give them the price, I shut up.
Yeah.
I wait till you tell me whatever it is you're going to tell me. So I slide it over to you. It's $18,950.
I got a bid for 14 grand.
14 grand. And of that 14 grand, were they doing everything that we're doing here?
I don't even know.
Okay, well that's good, because honestly it's common within this industry. We have a 70% complaint rate in our industry, which means a lot of guys, our customers, are not getting what they actually thought. That's why I spend a little bit more time educating you on what goes into a roofing system, so that way you can spot some of those red flags. Seeing as what we're doing here, can you understand why we're a little bit more money?
Sure.
All right, sweet. So it's going to take me about 5 to 10 minutes to write up this deal. You're going to be paying cash, or would you like to take advantage of one of our payment options?
I'll take the payment option.
All right, sweet. So I just need an ID card, and I would go that route.
All right.
So that's 8. That's when you lay off the price. So going into step 9. Step 9 is going to be the close. Step 9 is where now that price is too much money. It kind of flows together. But step 9 is where I laid off the price to him. He now knows what it is. I waited for him to give me some kind of objection, and then I handled it.
I love it. I got one more guy, and I always get 3 bids. You're the second bid. I called him before you got here, and I like you, brother. I'm gonna call you after I get this 3rd bid. I never don't get 3 bids.
Awesome, and I'm glad you like me, and I appreciate that. And so let me ask you this: when you get that other bid, what is it you're going to be looking for?
I always get 3 bids. I just do it because I'm looking for the best option.
That makes sense. And some people love talking about roofing and love getting the knowledge, and I'm glad I was able to participate with that for you today. But what I've found is a lot of people that are getting the multiple estimates. It really comes down to the price. Is there anything that you would change about the roofing system that I offered?
No, I like the Owens Corning. I'm good with the Onyx Black.
Is there anything that you'd change about the company? Seemed like we hit it off there, and that you like the veteran-owned, small-time company.
No, I like you, bro. I want to use you.
Okay, and it's not me, right? Like, I did a pretty good job, and if I was to work with you, you'd be happy working with me?
Yep.
All right, so what you're saying is it really comes down to that price. So if I was able to get you down to that $16,000 mark, you'd move forward with me today or no?
Maybe.
Okay, so and that's usually what it is. So a lot of times it comes back to price. The problem is if I go turn in a $16,000 contract when I know that the value is $18,000, I might lose my job when I get back to the office. And you just said you want to work with me, right? So let's go ahead and talk about some of the things to overcome that $2,000.
Okay.
And then figure out where he would have. Usually it's not $2,000. I usually use $5,000 because if anybody's, it's always price, right? So if I was to say if we were doing this deal at $5,000, we'd be shaking hands right now, right?
Right.
And then after that, then it really comes down to price. So let's find a way to get to that price. So at this point, I would have gotten no 2 or 3 times from you, and this is where I would offer the scheduling discount.
Okay, the scheduling discount. What's the scheduling discount?
So if you drop price and just say, all right, I'll do it for the $16,000, now you're that guy. You're that guy that just, shady, and honestly, your cancel rate might be a little bit higher. They're going to call back. They're not going to feel really confident with you. So if they're only a $2,000 difference from me, and I know that I've got at least 10% built in for my reps to be able to drop, then it goes something like this. Well, we have this thing called a floater schedule. You told me you're not leaking. I've done the inspection up there. You're not leaking, but you're ready. You need to get this thing replaced. If you're willing to jump on what we call a floater schedule, so we might not be able to get to your install between 2 and 8 weeks. And in Florida with permits, you might say something along the lines of 6 to 12 weeks. If you're willing to wait and you can have your install installed within a 48-hour notice window time, what we're offering to homeowners is what we call our scheduling discount. We're incentivizing your time with our money, and I can go ahead and get you down to that 16,000 mark.
All right, sign me up.
So
what's step 10?
The step 10 is the wrap up. So real quick, back to that though, you want to make sure you commit them hard to that, and you really want to make sure you commit them before you lay off the price to them. And I love the scheduling discount because if you build your own projects, it saves you a ton of time. It takes a lot of pressure off you from the homeowner, and then they're happy. Remember that scheduling discount we talked about? Get off my back. All right, step 10, wrap up. You do this either way, whether or not you get the close or whether you don't get the close. And this thing goes a little bit different. You want to reiterate the contract back to them. And the reason why you reiterate the contract back to them is because most homeowners don't read contracts. And since they don't read the contract, they don't always know what goes into that. And a lot of times a handshake deal means a lot more. Have you ever got a build that you did and the guy's like, well, the salesman promised me this? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah, all the time. So it's the handshake deal that means a lot more than that contract's ever going to mean to anybody, right? So the wrap up is going back through each line item and asking the magic words, is there anything in this contract that I left out, right? And then on the production team, I would urge you to also ask that same question. Was there anything else promised to you before we get this project started? Those are going to solve so many of your problems because unfortunately, there's the overpromising side of things that always happens within sales because you think you have to promise to be able to get that deal. And you want to make sure that all those promises are written in a contract form. Because if it's not in there, then it's not there. So wrap up is reiterating the contract. I also go over my terms and conditions. I explain what a change order is. I want to make them feel very comfortable with me and choosing me, so that way they don't cancel whenever I leave. Especially once the next guy does come in because they forgot to cancel it, and now he's $5,000 cheaper than me, and then they call me to try to cancel, right? I want to make sure that there's no other appointments. I'll even ask them, hey, I know you had that third roofer. If canceling an inspection is really uncomfortable, go ahead and give me the number. I'll give them a call and cancel it for you.
Right here.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you got to feel confident, because guys, whatever it is you're saying and whatever it is you're doing, even if it's wrong or not 100% the right way to do sometimes if you say it with confidence, it really doesn't matter, right? At the end of
it's not wrong to cancel the appointment. You're doing them a favor. What if they pick the wrong roofer? It's not wrong.
I don't disagree, and you don't badmouth them. I don't call him and say anything negative. I don't throw it in his face, right? As much as you want to sometimes. I just let them know, and then I cancel it for them. Makes their life a little bit easier. 100%. They don't always go that. I've only got it twice. What's that?
Hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, that was a 10-step breakdown on the baddest roofing
No, I say them the roofer.
process. If you want to join us in our coaching program, Ricky is doing weekly coaching every single week. It's real roofing coaching from real business owners, whether it's insurance or retail. We got calls for both. So look, we're going to leave a comment below in the description. And now it's time to go eat lunch, guys. Give this man a round of applause.
Hey, thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Look, subscribe, get notifications, because we're coming every week with door-to-door videos, interviewing successful blue-collar millionaires, finding out exactly what they did, going from living paycheck to making that golden paycheck, baby. There's a gold rush in roofing, and we're showing what it's like, scaling our company to $1 billion, creating 100 multimillionaires along the way. Now, a lot of times we do silly things like roofer versus adjuster videos, door-to-door blitz videos where we get thrown off the front porch, but we do it for your viewing pleasure and to raise the status for the blue collar entrepreneur. So look, subscribe, tell your friends. That's the cost of admission. I want to help you sell your first million, scale to 10 million, and then maybe be a part of our $1 billion plan. Look, subscribe, get notifications so you don't miss anything that happens right here on this epic roofing and contracting growth channel.